think because this woman is so powerful, Eric, I suggest doing your solos at the same time.
And something indicated.
What the? It's like a child, dude.
Dave, you're in for a treat tonight.
It's funny how we mention you and all that, and there's 3 responses back to back.
Hi, I'm Eric McGill.
And I'm David Woolever.
And we are paranormal investigators welcoming you to join us as we put new theories to the test and attempt to explain strange phenomena. We invite you on a journey that will give you a glimpse into our haunted minds.
We are in Lancaster, Ohio, Dave, and that can only mean one thing.
Yep, that means we are headed to the Fairfield County Infirmary.
That's awesome.
I don't think either of us really know too much on the history, which could be a good thing.
And we're still uncovering stuff, right?
Yeah, all the time. There's new things coming about almost every day. So, to kick it off, the place was built in 1828, and it served the residents and everyone in this area for 189 years.
Wow, that's nearly bicentennial.
That's a long time. During the digging through the building and the cleanup, Addie actually found a list of 10 rules that the inmates had to abide by, which consists of men and women were to have 0 contact. None whatsoever.
That does not sound fun.
No. No intoxicating liquors, so no alcohol, unless it was prescribed.
Really?
Yep. No profane language. And the last rule literally says, for breaking any of the rules, you will be confined in the cells and the dungeon.
Wow. The dungeon. Tell me about the dungeon.
You would think the dungeon would be in the basement, right?
Naturally.
The dungeon in the Fairfield County Infirmary is on the top floor.
Okay.
Yep. So the hottest area you can be in during the summer, there are still hooks on the wall where these people would be chained.
Okay, so that just sounds totally inhumane, like ridiculous.
Yep, seems to be. And on top of chaining people to the walls up there, if you were just a passer-through traveling, needed a place to stay, or if you happened to be an orphan, you were up there too. You weren't chained to the wall, but you were up on the top floor with the people who were chained to the wall.
Wow.
Yep, so imagine being a small child and hearing people,
that would be terrifying and traumatizing for a child who's stuck there,
There was even an article that we found about a 15-year-old girl who was married and pregnant that ended up there. She lost her baby, became depressed. The husband couldn't take it anymore, so he dropped her off. She lived at the infirmary for 55 years until she died.
Oh my gosh.
And speaking of the women in the infirmary, according to some of the books, the admittance logs and things like that, there were many women in the infirmary that were having multiple children over the years. So if the men and women were supposed to be separated, you either had some way of them getting to one another, or you got to look at employees by that point. And you don't know if it was consensual or not.
Yeah, if there were people getting pregnant, as you said, but there was no contact allowed between the men and the women, something tells me somebody might have been doing something they weren't supposed to be doing.
Yep, that's the way it points, and a lot of these old infirmaries kind of turned out to be that way, so you never know, I guess. There's documentation of a man jumping off the roof. He would die shortly after that. A woman in 1929 named Jane Holzhauer was essentially burned alive. This place is just full of surprises by this point.
I'm really looking forward to the investigation, not just because of all the history that you've read, and it just tells me that this place has got to be active, but because of the claims of activity that I've heard from some of our close friends. And I've heard that there's shadows seen. One person, Adam, actually was the one that said he saw the face of a woman just kind of peering around a corner at him. So this place is extremely active, and it's exciting that we get to be here. But look,
Yep.
as before, here we did it.
Now, I will say,
Pulling in
as
right
we're
now.
pulling in, you can look up on the hill ahead of us.
Yes.
That would be the cemetery.
Oh.
And let me tell you this, there are an estimated, that we know of, 1,200 unmarked graves in that cemetery.
Well, we're here to do this investigation, so let's put our best foot forward and, as always, knock one out of the park.
When Dave and I stepped out of the car, we had all the confidence in the world. We thought that we knew a lot about the Fairfield County Infirmary. We learned about the history, and we heard about the varying degrees of paranormal experiences. We had a plan of attack, and we were certain that everything would fall into place. But as we all know, even the best laid plans can often go awry. Once inside, Dave and I began to set up for our daytime investigation with specially modified camera harnesses. After a short period of time, we gave up on Dave's harness and focused our efforts on getting mine to fit. After about an hour and a half of struggling, we were finally able to start. Despite our best efforts, we investigated for 2 straight hours and weren't able to capture anything on any of our devices. After this, I was feeling a fair amount of pain from wearing the harness and I needed to take a break. Dave, who was tired of hearing me cry about it, suggested that we call our resident undead family members Adam and Becca to see if they could help us out. Luckily, they were still close by and able to join us. This was just the boost that we needed, and as we'd both soon find out, the turning point of everything.
Of course we can, yeah.
Oh,
We're
wow.
there.
Thank
In
you
a
so
little while,
much.
We're on our way.
We can, yeah, we'll head back around and we'll see you probably in about 20 or so.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much.
All right, I'll talk to you soon, man.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Well, that's our lifesaver right there. I thought they would be long gone or something, knowing our luck. Wow.
Well,
So, my wheels are spinning now.
we've got that projector thing in the bag.
Yeah, we have a projector thing. We got some videos loaded up. I think I made a video that might work out for us.
How bad is it?
That's rough. It's if somebody were to come and film Fairfield County Infirmary like, well, I don't know, 60, 70, maybe 80 years ago,
Oh boy.
it's gonna be rough. So here's my idea. We get your projector, we play that video, we do an EVP session, leave the area, let the video play, then when Adam and Becca get here, we'll see what Becca picks up on. I'm really interested, as an experiment to see what she picks up on.
Yeah. Now, we're doing this in the dungeon, right?
Oh, I didn't even think of that. That is the perfect
The
place.
chains are still up there on the wall, so
Oh my gosh. Wow. Yes.
might as well.
Yes. Let's do it.
Let's get set up then.
All right.
Now that we had our second wind, Dave and I grabbed most of what we needed and made our way up to the top floor. With Adam and Becca arriving in about 20 minutes, we knew that we had to move quickly. Dave completed our setup in record time while I assisted him and filmed. This was the moment that our investigation began to take a turn. This was the moment when the Fairfield County Infirmary suddenly seemed to come alive. Okay, Dave, so we got our first experiment set up for the night, and this one, we think this one's a doozy.
We've got a projector and a laptop. We're going to be projecting some images of infirmary life, I guess is how you could put it.
And it's not good.
No, it is not good.
And also we have the chains here that we discussed earlier on the wall. I was looking at that.
Yeah.
So this is strategically placed in such a way where we're trying to invoke some kind of response.
Yeah. And you may recall this is, you usually don't have a dungeon on the top floor of a building, but this is it. Like where the chains are, these are the hooks that were in the wall. I mean, when people were in trouble, this is where you were.
Maybe just an additional kind of validation thing. We're gonna run Pandora and see what we capture while this is playing for a little bit. And then maybe like in 10 minutes or so, we'll take off and we'll let this play. And then when Becca and Adam get here, we'll pick it up from there and see what happens.
Okay, sounds good to me.
All right, let's get that Pandora going.
All right, starting Pandora. 3, 2, 1. We're ready to go.
We should start asking some questions.
Okay, if anybody's up here with us, if you can see these images on the wall, where does that take you? What's on your mind right now? Is this familiar? I'm drawing blanks, dude. I
can ask some questions.
Okay. It's starting to kind of wig me out a little bit.
This is really intense, I know. This is probably one of the most intense experiments that we've done. Were there ever children up here?
Do these images bring up any memories? I don't know that you can breathe that hard, but there was just a rush of air that just went.
Are these the kind of people that were up here? You didn't deserve to be treated this way.
And this isn't to be disrespectful or anything like that. We're trying to learn more. We're trying to learn more. Okay, we're gonna give you a kind of a last opportunity while we're up here currently. If you have something that you really want to say because of this, head over toward the rocking chair. Let us know. Okay, let's end the EVP.
You doing all right?
I don't know.
Not feeling this one.
Man, like I'm shaking.
All right.
All right, ending EVP.
With that, we decided to end our session. Before heading back down to our base to wait for Adam and Becca to arrive, we placed a REM pod in front of our 2 static cameras. Unfortunately, we didn't catch anything on either camera during this short period of time. When Adam and Becca arrived, we immediately said our hellos. Wasting no time, Becca quickly began to zero in on something and practically made a beeline to the top floor dungeon. Amazingly, Becca described what she was gathering in the attic space.
Something has happened that has rippled the space differently. That's the only way I can explain it. It's almost like when you have imagine this is gonna sound a prism. Imagine a prism, and imagine whenever you hit it a certain way, how the light reflects a certain way. Whatever has happened here has hit the prism, and the light is reflecting in a different direction, and I'm seeing pieces of the puzzle that is this place that I've never seen before.
Dave and I were both shocked by what Becca had shared with us. Once I explained our projector experiment to Adam and Becca, the unfamiliar fragments and reflections that she was picking up on made more sense. In closing, Becca had this to share with us. Oh yeah, we did our EVP session while this was going on. We haven't reviewed it yet, but...
Well, if you were to do one now, I think you would pay the piper.
You think the response would be pay the piper?
Yes, because that's what I keep hearing. Pay the piper.
You guys got the recorders
Don't
up here?
Do we? No, we don't. I wonder if before this, when we did our session, if we did get it.
It's possible.
Yeah, it is. I don't remember what pay the piper means exactly. Something about like pay for something you did, maybe? I can't remember what it means exactly. I'd have to look it up. Pay the piper.
Well, this was an area where people were punished. I don't know if that means, you're paying the piper if you're up here and you're being punished.
That actually gave me chills.
I don't know. Dave was reading this earlier in the car. There were 10 rules. If you broke any of them, you wound up here, right, Dave? Yep. So, could be. As we were wrapping up our discussion upstairs in the dungeon, we caught this back at base. This empty can moved on its own about 3 minutes before we made our way back into the room. When you listen closely, you can hear what sounds like something tapping the empty can during the time that it spins. When we checked our videos for this camera, we found that this was the only time that the can moved over the entire 2.5 hours that it recorded. Since it's possible that trapped air and moisture may have collected beneath the empty can and allowed it to somehow spin, we decided to share what we found and grant everyone the opportunity to draw their own thoughts. With that, day 1 of our investigation came to a close. Dave and I decided to set aside some time the next morning to chat about our first night and plan for the next. Well, Dave, it's morning time, and we got a lot more work ahead of us tonight.
Yeah, I never really, I could have imagined, but last night was a little bit more intense and crazy than I think I expected it to be, so.
Yeah, I was really glad to have Adam and Becca come out and help us last night. Actually, we need them again tonight. I don't foresee our situation with this junk on the floor here getting any better. So having them here is a blessing as far as I'm concerned. It's really going to help us out. We have some really cool stuff planned for tonight, correct?
Yeah. I think we're going to start out with our next experiment?
Yeah, and I actually don't expect for things to get quite as intense as last night's experiment, but still pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't think anything's going to be as intense as what that was last night.
No, I have to agree with you on that. Yeah, I think we're getting close to time to getting everything set up for tonight's investigation. So maybe we ought to shut these cameras off and get going with that.
Sounds good to me. Start prepping.
All right, then, buddy. Let's do it. Feeling that we knew what we had in store for us, Dave and I thought we were going to have an average night. Little did we know, Night 2 of Fairfield County Infirmary was going to bring us the most intense and horrific moment that we had ever experienced on an investigation. All right, Dave. This is night number 2, and you know what that means.
That means the first thing we do is another experiment.
You can't even find me. All right.
Stop moving.
So, our experiment's going to happen over there in the other room, and I think we should get headed over there and get it started.
Let's kick it.
All right, let's do it. Dave and I immediately began to set up for our lemon and orange battery experiment by smashing down both fruits. By doing this, we released all the juice inside of them. The liquid inside the fruit becomes the electrolyte or battery acid that we need. We used zinc-plated metal for the anodes and copper material for the cathodes. The natural acid in the fruit is needed to create a chemical reaction to the zinc that draws out its electrons. The liquid part of the fruit is a medium which allows the energy to flow freely from the zinc anode to the copper cathode. For our experiment, you can see that the wires attach everything together to create one big circle. When wiring in series is shown here, it creates a closed circuit which allows energy to flow through the wires, electrodes, fruit, and the LED light. For our purposes, when the LED light is on, it shows Dave and I that DC power is flowing in a circle as it should be. For our investigation, we wanted to use an everyday household item as a trigger object. Oranges and lemons suited our need. Many of us have heard that spirits have the ability to drain batteries, causing equipment to fail.
Some believe that spirits generate an electromagnetic field, which disrupts the flow of electrical current, which could also cause equipment to malfunction. In either case, Dave and I wanted to see if the LED light would dim, flicker, or shut off entirely by asking a spirit to help themselves to the snacks in front of them. In addition to this experiment, we'll also be using one of our Pandora audio recorders and monitoring a Kinect camera for potential further validation.
And we're gonna roll with this. Okay. All right, Dave, you can kill your light. Perfect. That's exactly what we want. My name's Eric. This is Dave. We have some fruit up there on the up on that little bookshelf for you if you want to try to come up and have some of it. All you got to do is just step up there and we'll be able to tell.
If there are any kids around the rest of the building, feel free to come down to this floor. We've got some snacks in here and a little box that you can interact with.
Oh no, the stupid SLS shut off.
Shut off.
Yeah, I don't know if that's normal or not. I'm just gonna restart it.
Just say it shouldn't shut off with a program running.
It's all froze. I'm gonna restart it.
You want me to walk out and give it like a baseline, or?
Yeah, let's see if it's even working.
This is me walking for the Pandora.
Yeah, it's working perfect. Now, I don't know what the deal was there, buddy.
Well, another night, another set of technical difficulties. Whoa, something just touched me on the back.
Really? Really?
Can you come into the room and go over to the lemons and the oranges? Whoever was just out here, can you please come in the room and go over toward the fruit?
I'll tell you what. If you go up to that fruit and you grab it and you make that light dim or let us know that you're here in some way, you get to keep it. We've only got maybe like a minute left.
Next time you come out in this hallway, just kind of stand here for a minute. Because there feels like there's a big difference.
How much longer do you want to give it?
I mean, I'm good if you are.
All right, let's call it.
Okay. Walking up.
With our second experiment completed, it was time for Adam and Becca to join us for our Phasma box session. Since we were right on schedule, we were able to take our time and enjoy each other's company while we prepared ourselves for the investigation. Our happiness and comfort were only temporary. We had no idea at this time what was in store for us.
So Becca, we brought you up to this floor for no particular reason. Well, other than to kind of give your impression and see what you're picking up on. So, what do you feel, what do you think's going on?
Okay. There's a very, very angry man. I'm having trouble trying to explain. He's just very mad, and he should be. There is a man who was not allowed to sleep with the men or the women. He was kept upstairs until upstairs was at capacity, at which point there wasn't a place for him. So he was outside even in the winter. And I keep seeing this image of his body, frostbitten and bloody feet in the snow. But that's not how he died. He was murdered. He was eventually murdered. He should be angry. He is angry. Problem is, he's so angry I can't really see much about him other than his rage, that little bit of his story, and how he died. But I think if you're going to get anything tonight, the first thing that's going to come through is this man. Why are you... Nobody has done anything to pull you out tonight. Why are you so pure and loud? And he just wants, he's just communicating rage and just beating his chest. He's very, very angry.
Okay. Eric, you still have the Phasma up here with you?
Yeah, I got that.
Let's see if this is a man up here that is distressed like that. Let's see if we can use that to communicate with him. So.
Okay, so what we're about to do right now is we're trying to make contact with the man who was mistreated here. We don't know too much about him right now, but Becca was picking up on this man and she was getting visions of bloody feet, just general pain, agony.
Injustice, a lot of injustice.
A lot of injustice. So right now we're about to do a Phasma box session, and we're looking for answers relevant to what Becca was just picking up on. So I'm going to turn this on, and we're going to see.
Do you feel like yourself right now?
Not really.
There's a man standing behind you. Can you feel him? Okay.
Yep.
Is this the same man?
Same man. He's directly behind him. Oh, he's not going to hurt you. Don't punch him in the face with your energy, dude.
Okay, I'm going to turn this on.
I can't even tell what year he's from. I just know he's mad.
Okay. Hello, sir. My name's Eric. This is Dave, Becca, and Adam. Would you mind coming through for us right now?
It isn't.
Innocent?
Sir, can you explain how you were murdered? Please don't die on me.
I heard that. Please don't die on me.
Sir, can you please explain how you died?
Pursuit.
I heard a voice go, answer us, and then I heard someone go, pursuit.
I don't even know if there's a record of this.
Speak it. Yeah, not one.
Come speak it.
Sir, what month was it when they came for you?
My toes hurt? Wow.
That was muffled. My toes hurt.
That's the one we wanted.
Didn't you say something about frostbite?
So he was outside even in the winter, and I keep seeing this image of his body, frostbitten and bloody feet. Dave is very wigged out, and right now he's blinding me. Can't see past you, Dave.
I've been very entertaining. Have you hide and tighter?
No
What
The
was
child
that?
saying, let's play hide and seek.
That's you. That's for you, bud.
Wait, I want to hear that
That's
voice.
our man's back again.
Yeah.
I didn't hear what he said. Sir, I'm so sorry. Could you repeat what you just said?
And something indicated.
What the? That's like a child, dude.
Yeah, that was a child. That was a
a
child.
straight up child.
That was a little.
Something about communicating is this. I got chills.
Sir, can you explain why they came for you?
I never heard a child's voice like that.
Actually, I have a very... Ma'am, sir, can you explain... Yes, could you please explain why you chose to come forward tonight?
With thy prophecy.
Holy shit!
Would I profit? Something profits?
Yeah.
I just lost my angle, I'm sorry.
That.
Wait, something profits. We die profits?
There's a woman who, I think she's a voodoo spirit.
Oh.
She has a head wrap and
That's her voice. Who, me?
there's her and then there's this man and those voices are very distinctive. It's just very bizarre. I've never...
My realm.
My realm.
Yeah, my realm. That's what it was.
I heard the realm part.
Why did you choose to come forward tonight? Clearly it's important. Clearly something here.
I heard hey Dave.
Hey, Dave.
Hey, Dave.
Maybe, yeah. Camera.
Camera.
Heard a camera.
Okay, so
Somebody's intelligent enough to know.
so you want your story to be told. What do you want them to know?
Wow.
That sounded like death.
It's a child saying it feels, and then it cut out.
Why did you open the door tonight?
Destiny always wins.
Destiny always wins, or something?
I just heard Destiny.
Destiny.
SLS camera. We used one today, but I don't.
Destiny prophecy. Ma'am, you are very powerful and very easy to hear. Could you speak? Could you explain why you chose? That is the death scene. That's what happened when he died. That's the man was screaming for you.
I don't know.
Why did they accuse you of that? Ma'am, can you please explain why he was accused of that? Was it because of me?
Just a no.
No.
Just a no.
Let's see what happens if we move into the cell. Let's take the whole session into the cell.
The curse.
The curse.
The curse. So puny.
How'd you do it?
Yeah. Or how.
Something like that.
That was her.
The stories are true.
Yeah.
That's what it sounded like.
I understand that this guy right here, Dave, may be giving off a lot of light to you right now. Would you like him to stay in this area alone with you for a little bit?
I would.
There's a man going, I would, yeah,
No.
I would.
Then I think I know where Dave's gonna be. Dave, you're in for a treat
Yeah.
tonight.
It's funny how we mention you and all that, and there's 3 responses back to back. Yeah.
The urban home point.
We're coming to play or something?
Yeah.
It's like a child. We're coming to play. Damn, Dave, you got yourself an audience, man.
He's not dangerous. He's just very powerful. He has his ancestor spirit is very, very powerful. Are you ready, David?
Apparently.
I'm excited for Dave, I tell you that. Oh, there was a lot coming through. That means good things in my book. After our Phasma box session, we decided to head back to base and set up for Dave's solo session. At this point in the night, Dave was clearly shaken by something. Adam and I stood by while Becca expounded upon what she was picking up on, while communicating with the spirit that had led us all to this point.
I'm not actually a trans medium. I'm just not in a place where I would be as awesome and as powerful as you are. I'm just not really good at that or comfortable with that. Thank you for understanding.
When we were coming back downstairs,
The sweat on your brow. That's what she was trying to say. She was trying to say she wanted to establish a connection with you. And I was like, obviously, you've already done that. But I was like, what does this mean? But you keep dabbing your head. Do you have the cloth that you've been dabbing your head with? I'm sorry. I'm not trying to scare you.
Huh?
Do you have the napkin that you've been using to wipe? When you speak, I don't actually know how to explain what she's trying to say, but it's a way of opening the door between. It's like lighting a candle. If you could bring that with you, it will make it easier for her to communicate. It's essentially your energy, your connection to that space. So if you place that out in front of you, apparently it will help with communication. Also, I think because this woman is so powerful, Eric, I suggest dueling. I suggest doing your solos at the same time because she is so powerful. And this story that is being spoken to is so powerful. I think it will ripple the entire space. And I think that it will make it easier for you to communicate with anyone in the building. Wow, she's amazing. She's really beautiful. She lit a lantern and she said, come on now. I guess that means it's time.
Wow. I got chills from that.
She's amazing. I wish I was the person she really wanted to talk to.
She wants to talk to Dave, though?
She is it's hard to explain because
Can I break it down what I think you're trying to say?
Yes.
This spirit wants to talk to Dave,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
But because the communication is going to be so strong, you can piggyback off of it and get very good communication as well. Am I saying this correctly?
Right. And she is, actually, she's not connected to this space. She's connected to the man who I believe died here, or at least had a strong connection here. And she's his ancestor spirit, and she walks with him. But I have an easier time communicating with her because she's like, she does in life, she would have done a lot of spirit communication like I do. So it's easy. Like I imagine when I'm dead, I'll be probably doing the same thing. I don't know actually how all that stuff works. That's what I gather.
Okay, well, dual quarantining. That's what we're gonna do, Dave.
You ready? You okay?
You all right?
Yeah, let's just do this before I walk out of the building.
Under Becca's advisement, we all pitched in to set up for a dual quarantine session. Adam and I worked together on the top floor dungeon, while Dave and Becca arranged cameras on the floor directly below us. Adam and I were close to wrapping up when terror suddenly struck. Based on the raw nature of the video that you're about to see, it's clear that none of us were ready for this. Least of all, my good friend,
Dave Woolever.
What?
What's up? Dave!
Dave?
What happened?
He's
He's passed out. Dave? Is he breathing?
Dave!
Okay.
Hey, everybody, is he breathing?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Give a second.
I was just
Give a
laying
second.
down too. I had to sit. The energy got really weird. Dave?
Okay, get some air in here for a second.
Ma'am?
He's breathing.
Ma'am, this is not normal in our culture. I need you to stop doing that, please. Okay,
Alright,
so cold thing.
Yes.
I need to go down and get him some water.
Cold water bottles, yes.
Where's
Here. Yeah.
I can't see shit. I need a
Go
light.
get stay away that way. Go that way. You need to get some cold water there downstairs.
I've never, does he?
Stay with David.
David,
There you are.
Dave?
Hang on, you got cold water. I just figured you cold water.
Do you know
Hold
where-
on to this.
Do you know where you are?
Even though Dave had regained consciousness, we had no idea what to expect next or if the worst was behind us. In an instant, we had become overwhelmed with fear and total shock. Despite how difficult that this moment was for us all to relive, Adam, Becca, Dave, and I decided to share what we remember and what we weren't able to record on video.
Before we even set up for the solo sessions, I remember Becca saying that there was this woman that was coming forward and a man that was coming forward and was trying to talk to me, and then that we had the responses over some of the devices that were saying that they wanted me to be in this particular area and all these things. So I didn't really add it up until I really got to that point when she was talking about it when we were at the base area.
Eric and I are upstairs. We're setting up for his quarantine. Dave is below us. And this is where it gets a little blurry for me because Eric and I are setting up the shots. And the next thing I remember is I hear Becca with a blood-curdling scream.
Basically, the only thing that I remember pre-passing out, we were setting up for the solos. So I was in the jail cell room with one of the cameras. Adam had yelled to make sure that we were all in the same night vision color scale. I walked out into the hallway. I do remember seeing Becca and thinking maybe she might have been a little bit flustered, but after that, I have nothing.
That's what put me into a straight panic. Why it's a blur is I could have swore that I ran down the steps first to see what had happened. But by the time I got down there, Eric was already down there, Becca was down there, and all I see is Woolever on the floor completely just out.
I remember hearing Becca scream and just being in total shock. And I remember running downstairs, but I don't remember how I got there. I arrived and then I froze because I saw Dave on the ground and I didn't know if he was breathing. I didn't know if he was alive. I saw Becca on the ground. She was panicking and I just totally shut down.
In the moment that Dave loses consciousness, I felt overwhelmed. I reached back to grab my head because I felt really shaky and dizzy. And it was very disorienting because as soon as that happened, Dave fell over on the ground. At first I thought he was just messing with me, and when I realized that it was a truly serious situation and that he was not conscious, I screamed for help, which is actually really unlike me. I don't scream usually. So it felt foreign even, it was very nightmarish because it felt foreign even coming out of my mouth, screaming for somebody to come help because I didn't know what had happened. I assumed based on what I had felt that it was more spiritually based, but I didn't know that for sure. So all of this stuff's going through my head.
I remember frantic talking as like, what do we do? What do we do? What's happening? Becca saying, is he okay? And then my instincts just came in, and the first thing I did was I put my fingers on Dave's neck to see if he had a pulse, right? Because I didn't understand what happened. I don't know.
I am not a medium. I choose to keep psychic experiences outside of my body and not draw them into myself. And this ancestor spirit was a very spiritual person in life that in ceremonies would communicate with the living by taking over their bodies. I just didn't expect to see it happen. So that's why it was scary. When David fell, my first thought was that the heat wave that had rushed through my body and disoriented me had also impacted him, and I got the impression that it had come from her because she was a very powerful spirit. She was not malicious, she did not mean malice, but she was strong and powerful, protective, probably like a spirit guide.
After the fact, waking up and realizing, I think, what had happened, there's no reason for me to be upset, simply because I've obviously connected with someone who was incapable of reaching me, and that was the way that they had to do it.
Having Becca around and having her give her impressions of everything that's happening, it's enlightening, it's educating, and it really helps us to communicate and draw out more interaction on our investigations.
There are a lot of things that we talked about after the fact. We walked over to the White House on the property, and there are a lot of things that we talked about amongst each other that are a little too personal. I don't really want to go into here. The one thing that I want to be sure to get across is when you're doing these types of things, make sure you're doing it with the people closest to you. Because if I hadn't had this group of my best friends around me, I don't know how I would have come out of that situation. So, surround yourself with good people.
With the understanding that Adam would remain close by for safety, Dave insisted that we move forward with the dual quarantine. At the time, I remember being on the fence about Dave's decision. Hindsight vision made me realize that Dave had made the right choice. As a result of pushing on, we recorded more than we could have ever anticipated. We even captured something on video that we still have no explanation for.
What I'm holding in my hand right here is what you're going to use to speak with me. Okay? I would appreciate it if there was no stepping inside of me this time. Becca asked me to toss this tissue that I've been using to wipe my brow out to the center of the floor as a way to open conversation.
I'm very creeped out right now. After what just happened down there, I don't know what it was. I don't understand it. Could you tell me why that happened? We did an experiment up here last night. Did that upset you?
What is it that you'd like me to know? She was saying earlier that, sir, that you weren't treated very well when you were here. I can feel the area around me shifting. I think I can finally feel that emotion. That emotion. I'm not usually one to cry, but here we are. Whatever it is you would like me to know. I'm here for you. I don't know how much that I can help you right now.
I thought it was going to be pretty busy up here for a little bit, but I just heard footsteps. I just heard footsteps.
we're in two different planes of existence. So I can't help you physically. But even if you would just like to come sit next to me as a shoulder to cry on. I'm terrified of this world. I can only imagine how you would have felt to endure the things that you had to. You had to. And again, I'm so sorry.
There's a device on that chair behind me that'll allow me to hear your voice right there. If you could, please, just go up to it and say whatever's on your mind. Can you tell me what they did to you in here?
Sir, if you could. The one thing that I ask with this box right here next to me on the floor, I'd really like to know your name. Just know that you don't have to. Even though it's okay to hold on to those feelings, because you have every right to feel the way that you feel.
I know this is a huge favor for me to ask of you, and I'm sorry I haven't been able to hear your responses. I'll hear them later, I promise. But since I can't hear you right now, maybe you can find another way to let me know that you're here. Like maybe move that rocking chair right there. I'll give you some time. All you have to do is move that chair, and if you want me to leave, I'll leave. I don't know if my eyes are playing tricks on me, but I think I just saw a flash of light. And it was pretty freaking crazy. It looked like a streak that just flashed.
I usually don't get emotional like this. But I hope during my time here that this has been able to help me understand who you were, who you are. And from the way that I'm feeling right now, it's hard for me to believe that you were anything other than a beautiful soul that was taken too soon. Again, I'm so sorry for what you had to endure during your life. And I know this building probably does not give you many happy memories, but we're trying to make this a positive place for everyone.
Dave, we're gonna pull you. I'm gonna get you right there.
Ending.
Unknown to me at the time, Adam decided to end Dave's solo session and remove him from the building. In about 1 minute, I would be entirely alone inside of Fairfield County Infirmary. If I would have known this along with what was about to unfold, I would have been a lot more on edge than I already was. Directly following the next EVP that was captured on my Pandora, we caught something strange on one of our static cameras that we haven't been able to explain.
Man, I got the chills real bad right now. My name is Eric. I'm here to talk to you. I want to make that clear once again. I want you to come over here and yell the name Eric as loud as you can.
To our surprise, we caught a light on one of our static cameras that we weren't able to find an explanation for. Initially, we thought that this may have been a reflection coming from the camera that I was holding. As you can see from the 3 camera angles here, the light and my movements don't match one another. This told us that it couldn't have been me that caused the light to appear. We were also surprised to see that the only camera that captured this strange light was the static camera shown to the far left. Since I was on the top floor and there were no windows near the spot where this appeared, we haven't been able to determine its source. It's also worth noting that the camera in my hands was not producing its own light. With all of that said, we did recall a few interesting things to support that this anomaly could potentially be paranormal.
She lit a lantern and she said, "Come on now." I guess that means it's time.
I don't know if my eyes are playing tricks on me, but I think I just saw a flash of light. It looked like a streak that just flashed.
This was the only time that we caught anything like this on any of our cameras during my entire solo session. Be sure to let us know what you think down in the comments section below.
Okay. There's like footsteps coming right at me. I don't know. I think I just heard a female voice down there. Okay. I'm gonna get out of your space now. Thank you. I'm gonna go ahead and end this session.
Although we can clearly hear the footsteps coming toward me in this replay,
Okay. There's like footsteps coming right at me.
Dave and I weren't able to hear the female voice that I said I heard on any of our audio recordings. Regardless, I remember the intensity that I felt, which led me to quickly end my session. I decided to join Dave, Becca, and Adam outside to conclude our investigation.
Well, Dave, we did it. And this, I have to say, was probably both of our most intense investigation that we've ever conducted ourselves.
Yeah, I don't think that I've ever experienced anything quite like that.
I know we started off the night, we were pretty disappointed in all the problems that we were having, technical difficulties and issues like that, but they were really very minor by comparison when you look at what happened at the end of the night.
Yeah, hindsight's always 20/20. So,
well, we know you're okay now, and we were all very scared in the moment, so we're just happy that you're safe, and we're glad that we're able to continue.
yeah, and I definitely hope any investigators out there, always just continue to be safe when you're investigating.
You know, one great thing that happened was that Adam and Becca came out and really saved the day for us. They did an awesome job. Becca really just got in there and told us what was what and helped us to get better results.
Yeah, luckily they were still around and were able to get over to the infirmary pretty quick. Otherwise, I don't think we would have known what to do.
No, I think we would have just been stabbing in the dark as usual.
Well, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the Fairfield County Infirmary. If you haven't visited it yet, be sure to do so. Like the page on Facebook, book yourself a visit, come for a tour. You won't be disappointed.
Yeah, also, if you're watching our video and you get an idea for an experiment that you'd really like to see tried, comment down below, let us know what it is, and if we take your suggestion, we'll give you credit in the video for the idea.
And as always, drop a like on this video, subscribe to Our Haunted Minds and the RU Media Network here on YouTube. Click those notification bells so you get notified whenever we upload something new or go live. And find the RU Media Network on Facebook, as well as Adam and Becca's baby, Resident Undead. Find them on Facebook and YouTube. Give them a subscribe also.
Yeah, again, we'd like to thank you guys for watching. We're not really going to tease about the next location again, right?
It's big.
Oh man, my legs are still numb. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
I think we should do it.
Well, we can, but if we do that, then you know what could happen.
Let's risk it. Move forward.
You got me. I'm sorry. Let's risk it. You should have said, let's risk it. Drop the biscuit.
Let's risk it. Drop the biscuit.
What is happening?
I don't know.
Okay.
If you see...